most successful proponents, he ran an NGO, was to work through Buddhist monks who have a huge impact on their society, and they became a source of condoms. And quite frankly, when the NGO I was running at the time was working on it, we were looking at what can we do with the Buddhist monasteries in terms of compact fluorescence. So there's certainly elements of adaptation to the culture that are critical, without a doubt.
So a handful of quick thoughts. On the cultural issue is really important. It's not just a perception thing. For example, if you make an energy efficient refrigerator that works here, it may not be appropriate for India where they have different foods and different electricity systems and whatnot. That means that one of the things you want to do as part of a technology transfer strategy is actually craft your own innovation strategy to create things that may make sense deployed elsewhere, even if they don't make sense deployed here. And in particular, one interesting idea I've heard thrown around is do things in more modular ways so that you can essentially put them back together in different forms in different parts of the world. So I think it's important to think about how we craft our own innovation strategy so that there is technology worth moving out there. And this broader innovator's dilemma, how do we get away from having it here and then there? I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff that started here and has then been there, and we seem to have been able to develop an economy. And the question is, how do we avoid this when it's not appropriate? Okay, so important not to have this sort of absolute, let's not let things get away, we got to hang on to absolutely everything. I mean, it's been good that we didn't hang on to the salad shooter manufacturing industry. There are others where we've probably made mistakes. And the last, though whoever got that as a firm is doing quite well. And on the last piece, it's important not to put too much burden on the energy agenda. Labor and environmental standards, important stuff for trade policy. Leave it to the trade policy people. If we try to solve all these things as part of our energy agenda, we're going to have some trouble.
Yes, I have a comment about the conflict between job creation interest and the climate interest. I think this is an especially important issue in this country, in the US, which is democratically run and people all have a voice. But I do think the policymakers have to make a choice, sometimes we have to compromise. Which one is more important? Is climate change the threat our human beings, common threat, or just some group's job opportunity? Maybe that's not politically correct for me to say. I'm Chinese. So I think government really, what's the priority? That's really every government has to choose. And for the Chinese government, it also has that conflict because in order to really reach China's 11th five-year